Welcome to today's lecture on the topic of conducting market research. Market research is a vital part of any successful business venture. It involves the process of gathering, analyzing, and interpreting data about a particular market or industry to make informed decisions about business strategies, products, services, and marketing initiatives. The importance of market research cannot be overemphasized, as it enables organizations to stay ahead of their competitors and make data-driven decisions. In this lecture, we will be discussing the different methods of conducting market research and providing examples of how to carry out each one. Ready? Let's start. The first method we're going to explore is surveys. Surveys are one of the most popular and straightforward methods of conducting market research. They involve asking a set of questions to a specific group of people to gain insights into their opinions and behaviors. Surveys can be conducted through different channels, including online, via phone, or in person. To conduct a survey, you need to define your target audience and create a set of questions that are relevant to your research objectives. You can use open-ended or close-ended questions, depending on the type of information you want to gather. Open-ended questions allow participants to give more detailed answers, while close-ended questions provide more structured and measurable data. After collecting the data, you need to analyze and interpret it to make informed decisions. Here's an example of a survey that Tesla might conduct as part of their market research efforts. They will start with a small introduction. Thank you for choosing Tesla as your preferred vehicle brand. As part of our commitment to continually improve our products and services, we would like to hear about your experiences with Tesla and your preferences for future product development. Your responses will help us better understand your needs and make decisions that will improve your overall Tesla experience. Then, they will continue with instruction on how to respond to the survey and will say something like, "Please answer the following questions honestly and to the best of your ability. Your responses will be kept confidential and will only be used for research purposes." Now they get to the part where they ask the questions. How satisfied are you with your current Tesla vehicle on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being very dissatisfied, 10 being very satisfied. Which model of Tesla vehicle do you currently own? How frequently do you use your Tesla vehicle? What are the top 3 reasons you chose to purchase a Tesla vehicle? How likely are you to recommend Tesla to a friend or family member on a scale of 1 to 10? They will finish the survey with some sort of a thank you note that will look like, "Thank you for taking the time to complete this survey. Your feedback is greatly appreciated and will help us improve our products and services in the future." As you guys can see, surveys can provide valuable insights into customer behaviors. They can be used to gather feedback on products, test marketing messages, or understand market trends. Let's talk about survey limitations. I know surveys are a tried and true research method, but like any method, they come with their own set of limitations. First, surveys are typically limited in the depth of information they can provide. Closed-ended questions can be great for gathering specific information, but they may not allow for more in-depth answers that could provide a richer understanding of a topic. Now let's talk about social desirability bias. This is the tendency for survey respondents to answer in a way they think is socially acceptable, rather than giving an honest answer. This can be a problem for sensitive topics, like politics, health, or religion. Another limitation to consider is sampling bias. Surveys are often conducted with a sample of the population, but the sample may not be representative of the larger population. Similarly, self-selection bias may also arise if respondents choose to take the survey because they are more interested in the topic than the general population, and thus not being representative. Then we have response bias, which means respondents may not answer all questions truthfully or may not answer at all, leading to incomplete or inaccurate data. We should keep in mind that surveys are typically conducted in a vacuum, without context or real-time interaction with the respondents, which may limit the ability to fully understand the meaning behind the answers. Don't get me wrong, surveys can still be a useful research tool when used correctly. They can be great for gathering quantitative data and understanding general trends in a population. But it's important to keep these limitations in mind when designing and interpreting survey results. Second method, focus groups. Focus groups are another method of conducting market research that involves gathering a group of people who have a common interest or experience to discuss a particular topic. Focus groups can be conducted online or in person, and they are ideal for exploring complex issues or gaining insights into customer behaviors. To conduct a focus group, you need to recruit participants who are representative of your target audience and facilitate a discussion that allows them to share their opinions and experiences. You can use a moderator to guide the conversation and take notes of the feedback. After the focus group, you need to analyze the data and identify common themes or patterns. Here are some questions we can ask in a focus group. What are the main challenges you face when using our product? How can we improve our product to meet your needs? What do you think of our marketing campaign? Now I know what you might be thinking. Focus groups are such a popular research method, they must be perfect. Right? Almost. While focus groups can be incredibly helpful for gathering opinions and insights from a small group of people, there are some limitations to keep in mind. First off, the sample size of a focus group is typically quite small, usually ranging from 6 to 10 participants. Now, this might be great for facilitating a productive discussion, but it also means that the findings may not be representative of the larger population. So, if you're trying to make broad generalizations about a particular group, focus groups might not be the best choice. Another limitation to consider is the influence of group dynamics. You see, during a focus group, participants are all sitting together in a room, talking about a particular topic. And while this can be a great way to generate ideas and insights, it can also lead to conformity or the suppression of certain opinions. After all, nobody wants to be the odd one out in a group of people, right? And let's not forget about the potential for bias. Even the most skilled moderator can influence the discussion or bias the findings, intentionally or not. And when that happens, the data you collect might not be as reliable as you thought. Now, as someone who's been in the game for a while, I have to admit that analyzing focus group data be a bit of a headache. With so many different themes and opinions floating around, it can be tough to make sense of it all. And of course, we can't forget about the time and cost involved in organizing and conducting a focus group. But with all that being said, focus groups are still a valuable research tool when used correctly. They're great for gathering qualitative data and opinions, and they can be a good starting point for generating new ideas and insights. Just be sure to keep these limitations in mind when interpreting your findings. Third method, interviews. Interviews are a method of conducting market research that involves one-on-one conversations with a particular person to gain insights into their opinions. It can be conducted in person or over the phone, and they are ideal for gaining insights into specific topics. To conduct an interview, you need to prepare a set of questions that are relevant to your research objectives and find a suitable participant. You can use open-ended or close-ended questions, depending on the type of information you want to gather. After the interview, you need to analyze the data and identify common themes or patterns. Here's some questions you might want to ask during an interview. What are your thoughts on our product service? What factors influence your purchase decisions? What are your pain points when using our product service? Interviews can provide valuable insights into customer opinions. They allow you to gather information about specific topics and understand the reasoning behind customer behaviors. Let's talk a bit about interview limitations. First off, think about time and cost. Interviews can be time-consuming and expensive, especially if they are conducted in person. This can limit the number of participants you can include in your study and may not be the most cost-effective option. Another limitation is social desirability bias. Just like with surveys, interview respondents may be inclined to give answers that they believe are socially acceptable or that will please the interviewer, leading to potentially biased or inaccurate results. It's also important to recognize the influence of the interviewer on the data. An interviewer's behavior, attitude, or responses to the participants' answers can influence the participants' responses, leading to biased or inaccurate data. And of course, there's the issue of limited generalizability. Interviews typically involve a relatively small sample size, which can limit the generalizability of the results to the larger population. While interviews can provide good insights, they may not be the best choice for understanding larger trends or opinions in a population. Another point is that analyzing interview data can also be challenging, particularly if the data is qualitative and the interview is unstructured. Last but not least, there are ethical considerations to keep in mind. Interviews may not always be appropriate or possible due to ethical considerations, particularly if the research topic involves sensitive or personal information. Now, I don't want to discourage you from using interviews as a research method. They can be incredibly valuable for gathering insights. But it's important to keep these limitations in mind when designing and interpreting interview data. All right, that's all for today's lecture. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope this discussion was helpful in understanding the potential challenges and limitations of using the methods we discovered today. On our next lecture, we will talk about 2 more methods: observations and online analytics. And let me assure you, it will be very interesting. And as always, if you have any questions, let us know.